basically, when the extra effort means that if you do a really good job, you get a prize. And how this works is pretty much pick a direction, clockwise, counterclockwise, and just turn your D-pad. In a motion. Pretend like you're playing. You're doing Dragon Punch motion. Come on, DPM. But go full circle. Anyway, you want to go as fast as you can. Pretty much. Come on. I don't think I got the best score there. Pretty much you want to go, you want to build up speed slowly, and you want to go until you see the sweat drops above his head, and you're pretty much guaranteed to close the sluice gate. The prizes she gives are not like spectacular. It's all bait. You just get different levels of bait depending on which one you do. Usually I get the frog type bait that she gives. Like I got now, yeah, the frog. I think the one after that is the best you can get, and it is the best she gives I think is the level 3 bait. She might give max level bait, I don't know, but I almost always get the toad. I'm just not good at that game. I might load up my other file and see what the other prize was I got. And we're just going to auto battle you to death. See, one of the great things about apprenticing Urshin under Rolf is that Urshin really doesn't fall behind in terms of strength until about the point that she starts to get the really powerful magic anyway. And by apprenticing her under Rolf, she falls behind a little bit sooner, but when she switches over to being a magic user, she's that much more powerful. So it's worth it. By the way, if you actually dehydrate a Puspul, they have a very high chance of dropping Arum. So keep that in mind. Case in point. So if you want Arum, this is a really good place to come. You can fight the Puspuls. Of course, at the end of the game, you will not be getting much experience, but it's still a really good place to get a couple of extra Arum. You should not run out of Arum. They give you a bunch of Arum. And then, of course, you got the drops from random enemies, things like that. You should not be running out. Yeah, I hope you do too. Go down the ladder. Why are ladders always so difficult in video games? Is it just a thing? Is it something they do on purpose? I mean, it has to be something they do on purpose. And just so you can't actually leave. This is the exit right here. Just so you actually can't leave without giving the sluice key back. There is no handle in the elevator. Now, you could talk to those guys there, but pretty much all they say is, we don't have any work because you've closed the sluice gate. So, yeah. That's awful nice of them if you think about it. I mean, they don't get... They're miners. They're prospectors. They don't... If they're not working, they're not getting paid. I mean, it's not like they're getting paid an hourly wage. That doesn't sound good. Well, I was gonna help you out, but it looks like I have to run for my life now. I love his reaction. He's like, look, love to stay and help you, but I'm not gonna die. You take the lever, do it yourself. That is a man after my own heart. Most RPGs, you meet an NPC and they're willing to die for you. This guy's like, nope, fuck you. I'm out of here. Here's the liver. Do it your damn self. I am not dying for you and your heroic deeds. And he flees. As far as I know, not really timed. I don't think you would have, but yeah, whatever. Put the crank in and just keep hitting X. That's pretty much how it goes. Because apparently some guy thought it'd be great to have an elevator that you have to sit there and pump the lever. Well, I suppose that's actually a pretty sound idea. Like if it worked on air pressure or something, that actually makes sense. You pump the lever to pump air in and it pushes it up or down. And you actually do have to hit X to make the lever. Oh my god. That is a lot of mud. You actually do have to hit the X button to make it go down. This is not scripted. Although, as far as I know, there's absolutely no way to fail this. I think it might actually be the mud won't come until you've hit X and X number of times. But anyway, imagine my irritation at this point, because honestly, from the dam to the end of the forest to the next boss is kind of it's one of those low points of the game, and I was starting to get a little annoyed with the game. It wasn't gripping me, and I was annoyed at the whole exercise of having to cross the river the first time I played the game, having to go around like that, and then we went all through that trouble to get the Sandflyer parts, and I'm upset. And then I see this, and I don't know why, but I just sat there and giggled for like 20 minutes. And it made me feel better, and I kept playing the game. So, I thought that inner tube thing was hilarious. Hilarious! Now, one thing I didn't go over, and I'll go over it right now, actually, is dragons and game points and their relationship. Basically, you get game points by doing things in the game. You can actually lose game points if you slice an NPC with your sword, headbutt them with Urshin, or later on in the game you get a person that can shoot a gun. If you do any of those things, you lose game points. You lose 1 game point per time you do it. I mean, so it's not going to break you if you accidentally run into somebody with Urshin. Because if you run into somebody as Urshin, she automatically headbutts them. So keep that in mind. Try to keep her out of the lead in towns. You get them from doing mini games and things like that. And I think you also get them based on the number of your combos. I think those give you points as well. They do serve a purpose other than bragging rights. Your dragons, not aura, because it can't be upgraded, but there are crystals in the world, and when you find them, they give you new dragon abilities, new dragons to turn into. If you have X number of game points, when you turn into a dragon, it will evolve into its second level form, and it will get more powerful spells, more powerful skills, better stats, so it's really worthwhile. And then of course, once you do that, you have to get X number of more points to upgrade the next one, and then X number of more points to upgrade the next one. There's also a dragon. It's the last dragon form you get. Its breath attack actually evolves based on the number of game points you have. It gets more hits, potentially becoming, very powerful. Kyria. I hate Kyria. It is the worst area in this entire game. It is the most pointless area in this entire game. And this area has a lot of pointless areas. This game has a lot of pointless areas. Excuse me. I'm adjusting my mic. That, folks, is the Earth Dragon. In a game of weird-looking dragons, this one is actually only probably the second or third most weird-looking dragon. Yes, there are weirder-looking dragons in this. I don't know why, but I love her confused look. It's like, I guess it's her thoughtful look, like she's asking a question, or she usually has that same look when she's also making like some kind of deep observation. I wonder what it wants to tell us. Wants to tell us that it can, like, almost do a full-blown impersonation of the Exorcist. Spin its head all the way around, vomit pea soup. Now, at this point in the game, you can actually hear one of her songs. If you give her 10 zenny, she plays basically gibberish. If you pay 100 zenny, you actually hear something relevant to the story. I think she also calls you a cheapskate if you pay her 10 zenny. If you've played this game before, you might realize that that song is actually pretty much sums up the game's whole message, I guess. I mean, it's whole. Breath of Fire 3 was a journey of discovery. It's you going through the world trying to find out who you are. I have questions. How far will I go to find the answers? How much do these answers mean to me? In this game, I think the big message is, well, there's two messages, and one of them we'll get to, I'll talk about later. But for the most part, one of the messages is pretty much fighting fate. You have these deitic-like beings that when they move, the very act of them moving causes change in the world. And lesser people who are next to them get caught up in this change, and they cannot fight it. It's like pushing against a roaring river, a roaring river. And you sit there and this game is about fighting the flow, and I use that word specifically, fighting the flow of fate and carving out your own path. One of the major plot holes in this game, I think, is they never really... I mean, the frog singing lady never appears again. She just comes, sings you a song. drops the bombshell that Ryu's gasp a dragon. I mean, it's not like we didn't know that when you put the game in the system. And then you never see her again.